How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Movie Hooker YouTube video, and I am back with a new list of what I believe are the best English language horror movies coming our way this year. First one I want to talk about is Dangerous Animals. So, the premise to Dangerous Animals is quite unique. It's a serial killer movie, it's also a shark killer shark movie, and it's also by Sean Byrne. Now, Sean Byrne did not write this. I should have my phone here so I could double check. He did not write this, so he's just directing. It follows a serial killer who kills his victims, or he kidnaps his victims, and then he feeds them to sharks. There's like this ritualistic thing going on where, yeah, he just snatches people. I'm not sure if he kills them first and feeds their bodies to sharks, or he gets the sick, twisted pleasure of just watching his victims get eaten by sharks. Either way, I'm sold. I love Sean Byrne. I love The Loved Ones. If you haven't checked out The Loved Ones, it's an Australian movie. It's fantastic, and he also done The Devil's Candy, which is another great movie. So he's two for two for me. Those both movies were great. They were both completely different from one another as well, but both really brilliant in the genre, the subgenres that they belonged in. So that's Dangerous Animals. Now I have requested my screener, and I have nearly got it. So I will be giving a review of Dangerous Animals very soon. But if you like sharks and you like serial killer movies, then this combines them both. So that is that Dangerous Animals. Next up, I want to talk about Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, because of Final Destination, I have started watching other Final Destination movies again, and I'm really not that impressed, to be honest. Some things should be just better left alone. Now, they do still have inventive kills, and that's what I want to say about Final Destination Bloodlines. It's just that I am here for the kills. There was a teaser trailer released with like a family in a barbecue, and that started off some, I don't know how it started, but everybody, death comes for them at a barbecue. And yeah, that's getting released in May, so that is coming soon. Next up, I want to talk about Sinners. Okay, I'm going to see Sinners along with some friends on Friday, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it on the big screen. I first want to start off by saying about all the haters about Sinners, right? So when this film was not even released, people were hating on it. The little laughing emoji, which annoys the hell out of me. And I'm like, why are you hating on it? Not one single bad review have I read. Not only that, it's meant to be one of the most creative and one of the most original and best vampire movies in recent years. So I am all for it. This follows two twin brothers who have to move back home. They're running away from something, but they realise that once they get there, in their hometown, then there's an evil waiting, which are vampires. The trailer that I watched, I only watched a little bit of it, and it really gave me a buzz of that Amazon Prime series. Now season one, because season two is completely different, but season one of them, and that is a very, very good series. So there's going to be a lot of social commentary and all, and that's Sinners, and I cannot wait to see that on Friday. I'm really looking forward to it. What else? Now, I'm going off the top of my head. I did publish a list on moviehooker.com with like 12 movies that are coming. Okay, so next up, yes, Ash. Ash is the new movie from Flying Lotus, who is a musician and a filmmaker as well, and an avid horror movie fan. I have watched Ash. I had the pleasure of reviewing it for IFC Films, and I think it is one of the best cosmic horrors that we have got since Event Horizon. And not only that, it has a badass female lead as well. And that film is about an astronaut. I think that's what you call them. An astronaut, right? So she wakes up on a strange planet. She makes her way back to her ship, and her crew have been like butchered by something. So she's trying to piece together. She cannot remember what's happened, and she's trying to piece together everything. And then another astronaut arrives on the ship, played by Aaron Paul, who we all know as Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. And he arrives on because he's seen a distress signal. But then we get the good stuff. There has been a non-human life form detected on board, and this is body horror greatness. Now, people who complained about this movie said about the budget, and yes, this is not the biggest budget movie in the world. It doesn't have to be. If they did have more money, it would only improve the film. But please don't get me wrong. I absolutely adored Ash. I thought it was brilliant. The way that I described it in my review, which you can check out on moviehooker.com, little plug for my website there. The way I described it is that it's as close to a Dead Space game at film adaptation. For people who are non-gamers, Dead Space is a series of games for Xbox and PlayStation and possibly PC as well, and it is pure cosmic horror. So not only that, we also have Iko Uwais from the Raid, Rama from the Raid movies, and I think he's the ship's captain. So we get to go back in time and actually see what happened to this crew and how they met their gruesome fate. And the lighting in Ash was something that was so wonderful. It was like dark hue red. It really reminded me of like a Nicholas Winding Refn. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it reminded me of one of his movies. Plus, Flying Lotus does the soundtrack, and it's a banger. The soundtrack is great, and I would highly recommend if you collect soundtracks, you collect vinyl. If this is released, then hunt it down because it's awesome. Right, so what is next? Let me see, what else did I write about? Together, okay. Together is another body horror. We're staying on the body horror subgenre here. And this is another one that I have not heard a bad review about, and I really can't wait to check it out. The premise sort of reminds me of H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space, which was made in 2000, I don't know, 18, 17, 18. I'm not too sure, with Nicolas Cage. And yes, it stars Dave Franco and Alison Brie, and they move to this house in the rural countryside, but there's like a supernatural force or a supernatural entity that physically alters their whole surroundings, even their appearance. So if you've seen like a little poster, all you have to do is Google Together Dave Franco and Alison Brie, and you'll see that their lips are all joining. It sort of reminded me a little bit of Society. You remember that movie from the 80s, which was a wild body horror as well. So that sort of body horror where everybody's joining together, it reminded me of Society. And say what you want about Society, but we have not got a movie like Society since Society. So I'm glad that people have got the, dare I say, the balls to make a body horror with actual people molding or morphing together. I don't know how to say that. So that is Together. I am not sure on the release date on that movie, but I'm pretty sure it's coming this year. Next up, I should have my phone, but if I go down and get my phone, then hold on. Can I just pause this? No, I probably can, but right. Okay, next up, I want to talk about Good Boy. Now, there's been two movies in the last maybe 5 years called Good Boy. There was like a Norwegian movie, I think, from a couple of years ago, 2022, 2023, maybe. It's Scandinavian, anyway. I'm not sure if it's Norwegian. And then there was another Good Boy about a little tiny dog that killed people. But this one is a very unique approach to haunted house horror. And because it's all from a dog's point of view. And again, I have not heard a bad review about this movie, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think the owner and this little pooch, I think it's like a Labrador, golden Labrador, um, moved to this house, and I'm not too sure if the guy doesn't keep well. Maybe he's depressed, or I'm not too sure of the owner of the dog's backstory, but this horror movie is completely shot from the dog's point of view. And films like that amaze me because you've got dogs acting, pretty much acting. And yeah, I'm all for it. So that is called Good Boy. Hold on, I'm really going to have to bring my thing up here. 1 second. Oh, oh dear. I shouldn't have done that. Right. I'm not. Let me see. Excuse me, one wee second here. Yeah. So I think I got about 4 or 5 movies there. Um, the, the one I do also want to talk. I know one more I have to talk about, and that is 28 years later. And as far as I'm aware, the trailer for 28 years later has been the most reviewed horror trailer in existence of all time. And that makes me happy because it's been such a long time. When was 28 Days Later? I think it was like 2002 it was released. And they're completely throwing 28 weeks later away. So they are. And sorry, I'm just trying to get this post up. And they're focusing on, yeah, the new one, 28 years later. We still have no idea of really the plot, but we do know that the rage virus is still rampant. There are survivors. Humanity is completely changed now. And yeah, where like there was a still released and it really looked like Killian Murphy. And now it's been confirmed that Killian Murphy's not going to be in this, but he's going to be somewhere in this new trilogy. And to be honest, I honestly think if they showed him in this movie here, then it would be a complete waste of marketing. And listen, they still want to market this movie. And what I mean by that is that, how can I say it? Um, if you see everybody will be going to see Killian Murphy. But just imagine if I am right, the last scene of 28 years later, the last scene we see Killian Murphy come out, and you're just 100%, you're just sold already. So that is you already buying your ticket, whether you like that movie or not. You're going to go to see the next one because of Killian Murphy, and if he comes out and just says one word, then everybody's going to lose their mind, and they'll go and they'll want to see 28 years later, The Bone Temple, by directed by Nia DaCosta, the second installment, and who gave us the remake of Candyman, which I quite enjoyed as well, by the way. So here's my little post, most anticipated horror movies. Again, you can check this out on moviehooker.com. Oh yes, Weapons is the next one I want to talk about. Now where am I here? Where are we? There we go. Yes, Weapons is the new film from Zach Cregger, who gave us the fantastic Barbarian. Some people didn't like Barbarian, and I'm like, why? It was really original. It really threw a spanner in the works. There was deaths there that we didn't see coming. It killed off characters you thought, like, and usually they would survive in movies. And it was like 2 different movies. It was like, it was creepy enough at the start where they were going to this Airbnb and it was in this real creepy rundown area. And you had no idea if Bill Skarsgård was an absolute creep or not. It turns out he was a nice guy, but then he got absolutely. What happened to him? I think he got his head smashed against the wall. It was gruesome. And then all of a sudden, this house has this huge tunnel, and in this tunnel, there's like this huge breasted monster that wanted to be called mommy and wanted victims to breastfeed off them. I'm pretty sure I haven't watched it in a while, but that's what it was. I loved it. Now I did think that the creature in Barbarian was um, very much inspired by Wreck. If you remember Wreck, the Spanish movie, the creature that we got at the end of Wreck, through all the night vision. I thought once I seen, did you call her mommy? I'm not too sure, or mummy as we would say here in Ireland, or ma. Uh, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think but the whole thing was that she made you breastfeed, and that was just absolutely disturbing. So why I'm mentioning Barbarian and in a little bit of detail is because Zach Cregger has confirmed just yesterday that um, Weapons, his brand new horror movie, is going to be set in the same universe. So we have the start of a brand new cinematic universe on the go, on the build, and that makes me really happy. I think he's a very good filmmaker. Now, Weapons, they have done an absolute fantastic job at keeping the premise hush hush, and I really thought for a long time that Weapons, I always knew it was about sort of missing kids, but I thought it was set in a classroom to begin with, and a teacher has to leave the classroom and come back, and every single one of her students is missing. Every one of the kids has disappeared. And that alone was enough to give me chills. I was like, that sounds like a really simplistic yet really, really effective premise. And so now they released a teaser image, and the teaser image is just of a clock at night, and it says 2:17. So we know that these kids have disappeared at 2:17 a.m. And yeah, they're not going to be in school at like nearly 20 past 2 in the morning. What sort of school would do that to children, especially when they're young kids? But if you do go to IMDb, you can see an IMDb. This film has to be set up by official accounts or Zach Krager himself. It is labeled as a witch horror. So I have always said that we witches do not get the cinematic justice that they deserve. Witches are horrifying. They do horrible stuff to kids. And it's just any witch horror I've seen, including Robert Eggers' The Witch. I really liked it, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't give me that full on witch horror that I want and I've yet to see. So who knows? Maybe Weapons is going to be the witch horror that we deserve. They have also released a couple of little teasers, and it's eerie. It's all in black and white. I think it's like door camera footage from houses, and you can just see kids running up and down the street and disappearing. I'm like, that actually gives me chills, to be honest, and I am so looking forward to Weapons. So that's that. Now I can look at my article here. Hold on. Okay, right, next up we have The Third Parent. So The Third Parent is stars Crispin Glover and Rob Lowe. I don't know an awful lot about this movie, but this is about a supernatural being who disguises themselves as a human and goes by the name of Tommy Taffy. That name is really ringing a bell, and I have no idea why. So maybe this is a horror character that I am like unaware of. But the fact that this person that disguises, this supernatural entity or supernatural monster that disguises themselves as a human, completely messes with this family's head, and that's all I really know. But I've never seen Rob Lowe in a horror movie, I don't think, and I think Rob Lowe is fantastic. I think he's great at drama. I think he's hilarious in comedies. So I'm more than ready to see the guy enter into horror movies. So that is The Third Parent. You call that one. Release date, I'm not too sure about it. So 1 second again. Let me see. Said about Final Destination. Aha. Okay. Okay. So next up is Bring Her Back. Right. I want to touch on Talk to Me. I have no idea how people didn't like that movie. For a horror movie with a load of teenagers in it, I thought it was very, very unique. And what I mean by that is that they took a subgenre, which was like demonic possession, which is done to death throughout the years since the 80s. It's been done to death. It's very, very hard to get a really original demonic possession. But what I said, Danny and Michael, the two brothers. I'm not going to try Philippou. I don't even know how to pronounce their surname, but Philippou maybe. But what they done is that they used demonic possession as a form of addiction. They use it as a form of internet trends, and you can completely believe that because we had teenagers doing an internet trend, and they ate fucking washing up tablets, capsules, pods. That became an internet trend. So if there was an embalmed hand that was able to bring back the dead, people would be recording that. They'd be going for views and for likes, and then they would get addicted to it. And that is just a fact. So that is Talk to Me, and their new movie, which I'm very happy about because Talk to Me broke so much records. There was obviously a lot of pressure for a sequel, and they went and have done something completely original again. Now, there has been a trailer released for Bring Her Back. This is what you call their new movie. And wow, I just think these guys are the real deal. It's very, very rare that I would get, the hair standing up on a trailer. And this follows a brother and a sister who have been adopted, and they catch their foster parents performing some sort of really disturbing ritual. That's all I know about it. That's all I need to know. I actually think that I didn't even watch the whole trailer. I got the chills and I was like, oh, that's enough for me. I don't want any more spoilers. Um, I am sold on Bring Her Back. Okay, so next up is Primitive War. Oh my god. Now I received the press release for this. I've posted about it on moviehooker.com again. And this is based on a book. As far as I know, it's a trilogy of books. And this is the movie that we have wanted for years. And yes, I am on about you and me. We've wanted a dinosaur horror movie where we actually see the dinosaurs rip people apart, their entrails coming all over the place, gruesome and gory, and just that's what we deserve. And I posted about this first, I think, in March 2024. So I've really been looking forward to this, and I have received the press for it, and I am in the process of trying to get an interview with the director, Luke Spark. And I actually sent a follow-up email today and said, listen, I want to interview this guy because I can't read, right? I can read. I'm a very good reader, but I just do not have the concentration span to read. I have tried for like decades to read, and I just can't do it. So I've started listening to audiobooks, and I am that amazed at the premise for Primitive War that I just said, right, I am going to get the audiobook, and I got the audiobook, and it's 13 hours long. I was like, oh my god, that's too much for me. So I hit play. Next thing you know, I was sitting by the river on a nice day, and I listened to it for 7 hours straight, and yeah, it blew me away. And I think I'm like chapter 30 something now. And so basically, this is about. It's set in the Vietnam War, follows a group of American soldiers, but not only American soldiers. There's Russian soldiers, and I think Vietnamese soldiers as well. And the first, say, 8 chapters of the book is very. It starts off with some dinosaur horror in great detail, and it's described wonderfully. Where just this, I think it's the Green Beret that these people are going in to try and rescue. Um, he's getting stalked by, like, I think he called a Utah raptor. Wait until you see these Utah raptors and what they do to people. Oh my god, right? It's what we deserve. It even says in the front of the cover of the book, this ain't no walk in the park. Because every single time we get a fucking Jurassic Park movie, it's always, oh, this is the most horror that Jurassic Park's ever go, and then they rate it 12s. I think the last one we had, like, was it Jessica Chastain, like running with like 6-inch heels on for like half the movie. And yes, so I am not buying into it anymore, Jurassic Park, just so you know. I am done, finito. Um, so yes, Primitive War, set in the Vietnam War, and it follows a group called the Vulture Squad who are being sent into um, the jungle to try and rescue a Green Beret squad who have went missing, and we know that they're dead from the very, very first chapter. I think it's actually the prologue, but as I said, it's described brilliant. It's really haunting, and it's really, really violent. But then for the next like 7 or 8 chapters of Primitive War, it's pretty much this American platoon who, most of them, are like scumbags. They're like, they're war hungry. They're killing kids and women, and they don't listen to anybody. They shoot first and then think later. and then they go into a part of the jungle where their dinosaurs roam freely. And as I said, the book says this ain't no walk in the park, a little stab at Jurassic Park. And also, it also says in the front, what I first posted about it in March 2024, it says at the bottom of the book that this ain't for children. This contains depictions of war crimes, and it's gory, it's gruesome, so do not let children anywhere near it. So that is Primitive War. Right, let me see. I think I'm nearly done here. In fact, guys, I will just leave it there. Um, yeah, I'll finish off on Primitive War because I think out of everything, Primitive War is the one that I'm looking forward to most. And there has been a teaser trailer that you can check out on YouTube, or you can check it out on moviehooker.com because I post about it. And yeah, so guys, thank you very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you haven't subscribed to me, then please do so already. The more subscriptions I get, it gives me the more oomph to get up and make more videos like this. I am a fountain of knowledge when it comes to cinema, and I know that. I don't know a lot of stuff, but I know my movies. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.